I can either keep saying I don't have a voice and I have nothing to offer, or I can choose to accept that I do have something to say. I want to learn and grow. I want this to be one of my biggest experiments to see if I can show up and do this, enjoy the conversations that come out of it, and have really no expectations of where this is going to go, but only the hope that the people that are supposed to hear this will hear this, and they will feel calmer, and they will feel less alone, and they will know that if they can't pick up the phone to call that person, they can jump on the end of one of these podcasts and have a listen, or send me a message and have a chat. Welcome to A Road Less Doubtful podcast, leaning into the parts of you that have been hidden away. I'm your host, Emily Wilson. Hi, welcome to our first ever episode of A Road Less Doubtful. I'm Emily, and I am both shit scared and excited to be starting this journey with you guys. This is my intro to my podcast, just to give you a little bit of what it's about. It's very interesting that today I'm sitting here starting this podcast with you all and starting to bring everyone along on the journey, when last night I fell apart in a heap and was overcome with overwhelm and fear, I think. I'm still not sure what it was, but I find that it's really interesting that it's come up the night before I'm about to leap into something that I find truly scary and exhilarating at the same time. So with that said, what this podcast is about leaning into the parts of you that have been maybe hidden away, maybe conditioned in certain ways, and creating a space for the every woman to step into who they are and feel like that they are just able to sit with a cup of tea, a coffee, freaking wine if they need to, and feel like that they are at their best friend's house, that they've just phoned them up, and what they're now listening to is either that advice, that support that they were needing. And I want that to be the overarching theme of this podcast. For me, having gone through a marriage separation, I'm now almost at 3 years post that, but there was such a length of time in between all of that while I was married and navigating all of these parts through it. And obviously I just alluded to the fact that it's a never-ending journey of growth and discovery and embracing the fear, which is exactly what this is, that I needed people around me. I lost certain people that I thought were my people, and I found exceptional people to have around me that I'm now able to call on, and that will call me on my shit, that will lift me up, that will show me where I'm most me, because sometimes you can't see it in yourself. By them giving me that feedback, I can then go on and do more things. And it's not about trying to find validation externally, but it's certainly about creating that community around you that gives you support and guidance, because it helps you have the strength to push forward into those scary moments until you have enough of that grit within you to keep doing it. I know within me I have the grit, but sometimes I just want the support instead of having to give it to myself all the time. And so with being a cosmetic tattooist, which is my day job, and I've been doing that for 20 odd years now, my favorite part of that is having conversations with the women that I do. And for the longest time, I knew I wanted to do more with that. And I always felt like it wasn't enough. You know, I would have these conversations and be like, oh, I want to help more, but I don't know how. And it pair that with always thinking I never had anything to say or anything worth saying. And so those thoughts together, and 20 years of having conversations with women where we help each other. I'm sitting there giving them their brows, or, you know, and we just have conversations about everyday life. But those conversations are the exact conversations that needed to be had that day. They help me with their advice, their wisdom, their banter, and I help them by just being ourselves, being real, being vulnerable, and being able to chat. And so the more I looked at that and I saw how much that inspires me every day, and how much I've always hated women bringing women down, people bringing people down, divisiveness, which is just showing up in the world so much more, I figured it was time that I can either keep saying I don't have a voice and I have nothing to offer, or I can choose to accept that I do have something to say. I want to learn and grow. I want this to be one of my biggest experiments to see if I can show up and do this, enjoy the conversations that come out of it, and have really no expectations of where this is going to go, but only the hope that the people that are supposed to hear this will hear this, and they will feel calmer, and they will feel less alone, and they will know that if they can't pick up the phone to call that person, they can jump on the end of one of these podcasts and have a listen, or send me a message and have a chat, because that's ultimately what I want to be able to do. So that's kind of this podcast in a nutshell. Thank you for listening to my very first, very brief podcast, and stay tuned for, I guess, a bit more of my why as to what led me here, and all of the deep, dark, maybe yuckiness that turns out to be the most amazing things, which is what this is all about. So I look forward to going on this experiment of life, this journey with you all together. Let's see where we go. All right, have a great day. Bye.